My name's Hussein Alireza. I'm a rower representing Saudi Arabia and I've qualified to the Olympics. I started rowing just 4 years ago during my master's studies in Cambridge here in England. It started off as a social activity to fill the time between all the work, but it quickly turned into a passion as time went on. I adapted to the sport quite quickly and was encouraged by my coach at the time to look into international representation. So just before graduating, I sent an email to the top rowing clubs in London describing my height, my weight and my current scores, which were awful at the time, and asked the simple question, do you think it's possible to go from here today, where I am, to qualify to the Olympics in 4 years? I went in for an interview with one of them, and that's where I met my coach Bill Barry, who himself actually won a silver medal in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, funnily enough, and also coached Alan Campbell to a bronze medal in London 2012 at this exact venue. So I was extremely lucky to meet such an experienced coach and well-known figure in the rowing world. There was no Saudi Rowing Federation at the time, so we just trained together for a year with the support of my parents, with the goal of reassessing my progress at the 2018 Asian Games. Thankfully, I exceeded our expectations, and that's where we met Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal and Prince Fahad bin Jilawi, who've been extremely helpful and supportive ever since. They've made sport so accessible to all Saudis aspiring to make it to the elite level. I qualified at the Asian Continental Qualification Regatta in May in Tokyo, where I later discovered that during the race I somehow fractured my ribs, which then punctured and collapsed my left lung. So I had to do a surgery a few weeks ago to patch it up, and thankfully I'm able to resume training for Tokyo. It was a fairly worrying time because that sort of injury is typically a season-ending injury, and I was told by a few opinions that I'd need a few months recovery. But thankfully, the surgeon did a very good job and he was able to get me back in a boat 2 weeks later. So I'm really thankful for that, and I'm back to training with no restrictions, and we're on course to hopefully make up for a bit of lost time and perform well in the Tokyo Olympics. Sport clearly sits at the core of Vision 2030. And as an athlete, I've seen firsthand the positive effects this has had on inspiring and supporting athletes in the kingdom. So, securing the hosting rights to the Asian Games in 2034 is a testament to that. And it's so exciting, and I'm sure it'll bring out the best of us in the coming years. I'd like to congratulate my fellow Saudi Olympic qualifiers and, remind them that it's now important to enjoy the rest of the journey. Represent your country in the best way you can, and hopefully inspire anyone watching at home who have their own Olympic dreams. To represent Saudi Arabia in any occasion is a great honor, and I'm so happy and excited to be in this position. We are all Saudi.